What's up, everybody? So I'm back with a video, you guys. This will not be a reading, you guys, as you can see by the title. This is going to be a healing message, healing spiritual message. So whoever watches this, there will be something you will be able to get from this video. If you guys are interested in a reading, let me know. Starting on January 1st, my readings will be going up $20. So my 30-minute readings will be $63 instead of $43. And my 60-minute videos will be $83 instead of $63. I'm also doing a $99 year reading special where I will break down what's coming in for you for the entire year of 2021 in terms of love, in terms of your career. You want to be, a business owner, family, children, when you have children, when you get married, or you have a fiance, your spiritual ascension messages, like what do your ancestors need you to know coming up in 2021. All of those messages will be given to you in the year, not for $99. You guys, is more than worth it. If you're interested in purchasing a spiritual bath, I still have those. A spiritual bracelet, let me know. The spiritual bracelet is only $5 now, so let me know. Okay, you guys. So, if you've been watching my channel for a while, whether you have or haven't, you guys know that the main central theme on this channel is healing, ascension, spiritual enlightenment, spiritual knowledge, all of that. You guys, I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of that. So, what I want to talk about, you guys, is the effect that parents have on our children, and tuning into the basic needs of our children. But not just the basic needs. The basic needs are, security, make sure they're fed, make sure they're clean, make sure they have everything that they need. They're groomed, hygiene, all of that. That's basics. But when we step it up a notch, we want to make sure that our children have the emotional needs met for them. Their psychological, their mental, and their spiritual needs, more so than not, more so than most important in everything. So you guys know I have two children. For the most of you guys, I have a 19-year-old and then I have a 7-year-old. My daughter is 19 and my son is 7. So when I had my daughter, obviously I was much younger. I had no idea who I was. I just know what I was expected to do as a young woman. I didn't have any consciousness of who I was or what I was supposed to be doing or whatever. So if I didn't have it, I damn sure didn't have it to pass it down to my baby. What I did know is that I was supposed to take care of her. Her father was incarcerated shortly after she was born, and so for the first 10 years of her life, is what it was. And in that situation, still, it is what it is. But that's not the point. So I didn't have spiritual tools. I didn't have tools of healing. Now, granted, I always was who I am. So if even before you step into your awakening powers, your awakening, going through your spiritual awakening, the ones who have and are getting ready to, or currently in the midst of your spiritual awakening, it's like you always have this innate thing in you to do better or do different than what you were, given when you were a child. If you're a parent, it's love. It's the overwhelming need and want to give love, and that's why a lot of people, spiritual people, empaths, light workers, teachers, spiritual gurus. We have this thing where certain people gravitate towards us because of this innate energy of love, wanting to give love, and we give it to the wrong people until we step into consciousness and realize that we first have to give love to ourselves. So, anywho, when I had my daughter, I maybe like 4 months after she was born, I got a job. I didn't get on public assistance. Not saying there's anything, there's nothing, I just didn't, that wasn't in my conscious mind was to get some type of assistance. It was in my conscious mind to get a job, so I wouldn't have to depend on my parents because I was living with them at the time. And that was just what it was. Like, okay, I got to get a job so I can take care of my baby, and I did that. And because of that, there was a lot of time that I missed with her, working a full-time job and then like working swing shift. To me, that's one of the worst shifts to have when you have children, because you ultimately, the bulk of your time, of your waking hours, is spent at work. So like if you're working from like 1 to like 9:30 or something, I think my schedule was something like that. I mean, by the time I come home, my baby is damn near about to get in bed or whatever, and then there's a short period of time early in the day that I spend with her. But counting in the time to get ready and preparing food or doing whatever chores I needed to do, it was a short time. There was a very short time that I spent with my baby. And needless to say, those were periods where after I'm talking about years later, where I felt guilty. I felt very guilty, even though I knew I had to work and I knew I had to provide for my child. I still felt guilty, Granted, she had my parents, but I just didn't we'll talk about this other stuff with codependency. I always had that because that was conditioned on me. But I also, like, innately in me, it's independent spirit. I'm a very independent person. I like to do things on my own. But when people know that they have, and I'm not talking about my parents, I'm talking about anyone, period. When people want to have control over you and you're a certain type of person, then they use certain tactics, manipulative tactics, to make you feel like you need them, like, what I'm saying, like a control type thing. And then that makes you at times codependent. So anywho, let me just get to what I'm saying. So my point is that, you guys, with me having a daughter at a young age, and I wasn't super young, I was 21 when she was born, but that's still young, but it's not like, but at that time I wasn't able to give my child the support in certain areas that I named earlier on that she needed, and that is so important. Now, coupled in with that, there was things that I needed to heal from my childhood or my experiences in life that I wasn't nowhere near aware of when I was 21. I had no concept of healing or stepping into your power or realizing my divine worth. I had no idea of that. And so as she got a little older, I want to say like around kindergarten, I stopped working. And so I was able to spend time with her, but it was like, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, it was like empty time. And I mean that because, yeah, we did stuff. Me and my daughter did stuff because I always stayed with, financial stability, but I was using it for the wrong reasons. We did stuff. We went out, we went out to eat. We went out to theme parks. We went out to events. I had a lot of friends, let's just say that, who had children who she had access to. So she always, she was entertained. Let's just put it like that. Kima was entertained. But as far as like just those deep, now I'm not saying we didn't talk, because if you watch this and you're a fan, well, ain't nobody really watched this that knows Kima like that, but Kima is she was a type of child like how my son is, very inquisitive, questions, like she has and I never kind of realized this, but Kima and my son, they have a thirst for knowledge. And so with that thirst, comes the questions when you're young. And so, we had those moments where we talked and we spent time together, but because, a certain situations, I couldn't give it. Now, and this is just my opinion, as a single woman, back then I was a better mother to my baby when I was single. First of all, because the two situations that I gave my energy into as far as marriage and stuff, two of the worst situations of my life. The worst situations. That's why I just say two of. It was the worst situations of my life. Okay, but so being the fact that I had parts of me that hadn't healed or needed to heal, and I wasn't conscious of that. Here come these situations, and they were karmic because they were meant to teach me some things that I didn't learn in previous lifetimes. You get what I'm saying? There were things that there were situations and karma that I occurred in past lifetimes that came to here in this life that I had to learn from, get my lessons from, get my karma from. And unfortunately, my daughter was in the midst of that, and and the conditioning of needing to be married or needing to be in a relationship placed on me from my family, even though, just like I said, I know I was a better mother when I was single. Now there was, like I said, there was some things that I would have did differently, but overall I was a better parent to my daughter. I was gonna say son because I'm a single parent now with my son, but I was a better mother to my daughter, because my children are so special. Like, they're the type of children, like they want all of their mom. They want all of them. Like, they be right. I mean, like, when Kima slept in the bed with me for a long time, now my son sleeps. He has his own room, his own bed, his own little situation in his room. But he still, comes in and wants to sleep right up under his mommy and take my arm and put it around and just let me hold him. That's how Kima is. Or she was, I'm sorry, when she was little. And even at times like her being 19, when she comes around and stuff, she still wants that from me. And with that being said, due to my unconsciousness, I allowed, I don't even know if I say I allowed because I wasn't aware, but like I said, I did things that I thought was expected of me because, and this is no shade to my parents, but they were controlling as fuck. They were controlling, you guys. And I told my dad this. I'm very transparent with my father. We have that type of relationship, and he may not like what I say all the time, but at the end of the day, if he knows this to be true, it's stuck. Okay. If he knows it to be true, then, the resistance is not as strong. So anywho, you guys, I say all that to say, I'm sorry, I feel like I was rambling for 12 minutes, but I say all that to say, you guys, as parents, the best way we can parent our children is by being whole. It's by being whole. You get what I'm saying? It's by healing. And I'm not saying, of course, if we have children already, of course we can't say, oh, we need to heal all at once, before we have children. But in the midst of us having children, we're healing. Like, you guys know that I've been on this healing journey for a few years now. My son was younger. He's 7 now. And I'm a much, much better parent because I'm a much better person to myself. And that's why it's so important. And it's so important to give you, not what just you have, but give your children the foundation of spirituality, you guys. You have to give this to them. Now, my child was born special. My son. He is, I don't know how to explain it. He is a divine light. Okay? He's special. Very, very special. My daughter's special, but just flow with me. He's a very special being. And I innately knew when I first had him, even though I was developing myself into consciousness, I wasn't completely conscious when I had him, but I innately knew that I had to be a certain way with him. Like, I'm a Leo, and I had to really implement that mama bear energy on him. That there was a period of time where I was like that with my daughter, and I let my guard down, and it had dire consequences, unfortunately, because for that. But I innately knew when I had him, I had to be like this because he's very, very, very unique, and he's very special, and he's very covered. Come for him, you meet a wrath. But I knew I innately knew I had to be a certain way with him. And he tells me things that he teaches me. He teaches me things. And of course, your children teach you things. You just have to be open to it and receptive and things like that. But he knows about the things that spark his attention is not the things that spark the average child his age attention. I've been around several kids in my life. He's very, very, very different. And because of that, but for the ones who just, whatever the case is with your children, you make sure that you give them foundation of spirituality, that you give them the foundation of healing, that you give them and you speak life into them. You give them affirmations to speak daily. You teach them about smudging. You teach them about writing out their feelings. You teach them about talking about their feelings, talking about their emotions, not bottling things up and pretending that they don't exist. We want them to talk about how they feel. We want them to express themselves. We want them to walk in their divine light. Don't shut them up. Don't shoo them off. Let them express themselves. Let them talk about stuff. We're doing the opposite of these with these children that we were done. And this is not knocking our parents or our grandparents or our godparents, whoever raised us, but this is just real shit. We're doing the opposite of what we were taught growing up. We're giving a different direction because the planet, like I always say, is ascending. They have to ascend and we have to give them the right foundation. It's not just about us ascending and stepping into alignment and stepping into spiritual consciousness. It's about our babies as well, and their babies and their babies. Of course, they're going to come here naturally knowledgeable. My son did. He came here naturally knowledgeable and in her own way, even if it wasn't centered in a specific way of spirituality. The same thing with my daughter. Very different. Kima's very different. And that's when people are very different and they try to box themselves in to a way of being that the world thinks that they should be, or box themselves in to fit in with groups of people that are not for them. It will not 9 times out of 10 times out of 10, it will always backfire. Because when you are spiritually conscious, you are liberated. You are liberated. You are a liberated species. So you can't box yourself into what you think or what other people think, rather, that you should be. That's not you. You're a unique being and you have to step into that realization and that knowledge that you are different. And anything, if you guys know, for the ones who watch me, who are part of my soul tribe, a lot of you guys who watch my channel you guys know that times when you used to have certain friends or hang out with people when you were young, you didn't really even fit a part of them. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just doing this, to have somebody to fit in, especially in high school, because that's such an awkward time. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. My son asked me not that long ago, Mom, would you go back to high school? Hell no, I wouldn't go back to high school. What the fuck? Hell no. Maybe junior high and elementary school. I went to a private school from K to 8th. Possibly that. But high school? Nah. But so anywho, I hope that this video makes sense, you guys. This is going to be a series that I'm going to talk about because I really feel like, we are breaking generational curses and the way that and I'm talking about specifically when it comes to our children. We're not judging them. We need to love them unconditionally. We need to teach them the things that we were not taught when we were young. And I'm not talking about material shit, buying them a bunch of bullshit that's not going to give them any substance. I'm talking about teaching them about investments, investing money, saving money. Talk about teaching them about buying land, teaching them about gardening, teaching them about all kinds of things that we need to teach our children, you know what I'm saying, that we didn't learn when we were children. It's so imperative, you guys. This new world is coming, and either you be in alignment, like I tell people, you gonna ascend or you gonna descend. It's up to you. Okay, so I hope that this makes sense, you guys. I love you long time, and you know this. Okay, peace. Love y'all.